WWE fans, let's talk about Bayley. She's running high and the fans are behind her, but there's a looming question mark hanging over her future. What if WWE decides to go into a direction no one expects? Today, we're going to be diving in a potential booking decision, a path that WWE could take with Bayley that has us saying, would they really do that? We're breaking down the possibilities, the pros, the cons, and why this next move could be a game changer for the better or the worse. Let's get into it. So Bayley was shifted from SmackDown to Monday Night Raw, and she's been in a very interesting position over the last few months, right? Because 2024 was, in my opinion, her breakout year, despite all of the success in which she had prior. I mean, you go from winning championships and being in the main event scene to all of a sudden getting the biggest push of your life, from winning the Royal Rumble to winning the women's title from Io Sky, who had been in a part of a faction in which you had dreamt about for years, made it your own, and then goes on a multi-month run as champion and defending it against all top tier contenders. Well, then she started to fall into a little bit of a woe, right? She lost the women's championship to Nia Jax at SummerSlam. She defended it a few times, or she actually challenged Nia a few different times and kept falling short. You know, Tiffany Stratton gets involved, cashes in Money in the Bank, all that good stuff, right? And then WWE's like, hey, let's start to get Bayley into the next chapter of her career. And that's what I think she's actually peaked. And I say that in a positive way. I think she's going to be used as someone to get other stars over, right? She got Tiffany over. He worked with Roxanne Perez down in NXT, although we still haven't gotten a blow off match to that feud, but she's starting to work with her a little bit, and that's fine. And then recently, when she was shifted over from SmackDown to Monday Night Raw because of the um, transfer portal or whatever they want to call it, they started to book her with Lyra Valkyria, which is interesting because after Valkyria won the IC title, WWE really didn't do much with her for months. And it was actually very frustrating because it's like, okay, not only is she extremely talented and that you could do more with her, but you've also recently, introduced this championship. It doesn't have any prestige. You might want to get the ball rolling, and you're not doing that, right? And I'm like, what are they doing? What are they doing? And then finally they put Bayley with Valkyrie and they're starting to share some screen time and they're starting to build. And we eventually get the match. So it's April 7th, 2025. And we get this match on Monday Night Raw. It went about 13 minutes. It's a good, solid match. Now, the ending in this match was actually quite interesting because they did a very good job of trying to convince you that Bayley was going to win the match, right? Because Bayley caught Valkyria and were to Boston Crab. The crowd woke up. They thought Bayley was going to actually win the championships here. However, Bayley let go of the hold and it set up for the Rose plant. But Valkyria rolled Bayley up and escaped with the win. Now, after the match, things get interesting because Valkyria went for a handshake, showing some respect. But Bayley, she's having none of it. She pushed her away. She started to walk away, but then turned around and hugged Valkyria. That leads us to today's video. A lot of people are saying, wait a minute, are we going to go and get a Bayley heel turn? Is WWE going to turn the ultimate hugger into a baby or into a heel from a baby face? Is that what we're doing? Is that where we're going? Is this the direction? I think we are. And I'll tell you why I'm actually all for it. We have gotten for the last year Bayley as a babyface. It's been really good. Like I said, breakout year 2024. It was fantastic. It was outstanding. It was exactly what she needed. It's exactly what the Bayley fans, the Bayley community, the Bayley supporters needed. But it's not 2024 anymore, folks. We are in April of 2025. Bayley beating Valkyria for the Intercontinental Championship, regardless of babyface or heel, is not likely. As someone who has been someone that pushes for top tier talent who have a strong supporting following with fans, I push for those stars to be champions or at least be in the title hunt. In this case, first of all, yes, I think Bayley is going to turn heel. I think that's the right call. Gives her a little bit of a fresh coat of paint, gives her a little bit of an edge, reminds fans how serious, how ruthless, how gritty she can be. I think this actually
Hey,
helps
not to interrupt
Valkyrie
this
video, but quickly, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe button, comment down below your support means the world to me and my family. Thank you guys for watching. More,
Go
and it
back to
goes
the
back
regular
to my
scheduled
initial
video.
narrative. It goes back to my initial belief that we are in a transitional phase. Maybe not even a transitional phase anymore. Maybe we are already here and you just don't realize it. Bayley can still be in main events. She can still challenge for world titles. She can still challenge for championships. She can still be a champion, but it doesn't mean that she has to be the center focus or the focal point of all WWE feuds. Instead, you use her as a launching pad to get others over. Just like you don't need to win every match to become a star, you also can work with those to get over. Now, if you beat an established star, then that obviously helps and advances your progressing a lot quicker as long as you have follow-up booking that makes sense and is good. But the fact is, Bayley can help Valkyria really, really get over as a sympathetic babyface because that's the role that a babyface is. You, as the babyface, or you, as the promoter, are trying to get the fan base a reason to care about this person and to have built in equity to continue to support them and to see them succeed. And then eventually they will use that equity against the fan base by turning heel and trying to get emotion out of you and just really piss you off. That is what they're trying to do. And so you have Bayley, who is legitimately great in every category, from promos to in ring psychology. She can play babyface, she can do promos, she can do heel. Anything you ask of this character work, anything that you ask of this woman, is one of the all time greats, right? She can really help establish Lyra Valkyria. She can do so in the best ways possible. And if WWE is able to give them a platform, I think that they can go out there and do that. Right now, here's the interesting thing. Here's the big question. And I actually have a little bit of a swerve. So we see this match, we get this match. Bayley loses cleanly, right? Little bit of a weird, wonky finish, but it gives her an out, right? Like, I almost had you, you barely got past me. Cool. Now, here's the thing. You haven't gone forward with a heel turn. We're about next week is Mania week. Okay, so they have one Monday Night Raw left. I don't like necessarily the prospect of them turning Bayley next week and then them having a match, six, 5 nights later. Okay. Here's what I am proposing. What if you have them do another interaction? Maybe Bayley turns heel next week on Raw, and then you can set up a match for 2 weeks from now. Maybe you set it up, 2 weeks on Monday Night Raw in the main event. That would be good. Maybe Backlash is maybe the sense. Like, maybe you don't get Bayley on the card. You don't want necessarily to be in a situation which we have been in the past where it's like, oh my God, every star has to be on the card. That's how you end up with like 15 matches. I don't want to see that, but like the match placement of this feud is going to be very interesting. When do you do the next match is a big question mark. But I think, yeah, I think we're getting to a Bayley heel turn, and I'm very intrigued to see what they do with her. Hey, you thought we were done here. No, no, no. One quick thing. If you would, let me know your thoughts on this video. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What I get wrong? What I get right? I'd love to hear your voice down below. Thanks for watching, y'all.